Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of August the 18th, 2025. So we had last week kind of finish up a little bit of tension, and this week starts out with some beneficial flows of energy. Caution flag goes up at the end of the week and the new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we get there, but definitely a little destabilization towards the end of the week, weekend, and into early next week. Now, as we start the week, we have still a carryover from a transit that started last week, a beautiful connection between Mercury, which is now moving forward in the sign of Leo, and Mars, which is in Libra. So they are in a conversation that we would call a sextile, which is a blessing, luck kind of flow. Now, of course, sextiles are one of those things that it's easy to take for granted, easy to think, oh, well, I'll get around to that. And especially because we've been in it for a little while, you might tend to be a little bit more casual about some of those opportunities that are showing up, those synchronicities that you're encountering. But don't overlook them. Don't overlook taking advantage of however these energies are harmonizing for you. Mercury could be an email. Mercury could be a text. It could be an idea. Mars and Libra can make you a little indecisive, maybe a little uncertain about which way to go. Busy weighing out your options instead of moving forward. But there's something here that you can act on, so do it. Take advantage of this time. Now remember, we still have Mercury in the shadow. It doesn't come out of that shadow until August 25th. But still, we're still getting some traction. We're still getting some forward momentum. Now, there's also quite a few moon voids this week. Now, I'm going to list them for East Coast US time. Please check my website for more specific time ranges. But we start off the week with a moon void, 7:43 a.m. Eastern on Monday until 3:05 p.m. Eastern. Now, on the 19th, we begin to pick up a gorgeous connection between the Sun in Leo and Chiron in Aries. This is a wonderful time to really work on yourself, to feel more confident, to embrace that Leo energy. Think of some of your favorite Leo people and that magnetic charm that they have, that open-heartedness, that why couldn't the most amazing things happen to them? A Leo doesn't ask themselves why. They just say, of course, okay? This is an energy to embody and to embrace this week. And then again on the 20th, another moon void at 8:27 a.m. until 7:17 p.m. Eastern. And then another one on the 21st, the moon will void at 2:13 p.m. and it will be void all day long on the 22nd and not come out of void until 1:24 a.m. Eastern on the 23rd. So the 22nd, moon void all day, which is very interesting because the sun will go into Virgo during that time period. Virgo season begins on the 22nd. And as soon as the sun goes, well, actually before the sun goes into Virgo, it's still going to be picking up a difficult angle to Uranus and Gemini. But it's a little different when they're not quite in the exact same signs, right? They may be in a degree-based difficulty, a degree-based square, we call it. But it's not until it gets into that other sign that it gets a little bit more a direct experience of that clash mathematically. So this will be the first time the sun has moved into Virgo, and hello, here's Uranus and Gemini, very different. When the Uranus was in Taurus, it was in a lovely combination with the energies of Virgo. They're both earth. Now that earthy Virgo encounters Gemini energy, which is air. This is ideas, thoughts, technology, transportation, very distinctly different. And so we'll get our first taste of what this feels like. And particularly if you have a Virgo sun or prominent Virgo placements, you might really pay attention to what happens over those next couple of days. Especially because the square is not going to be exact just that first day that the energy goes in there, that the sun goes into Virgo. But it will be as we finish up the Virgo new moon. Now, the new moon occurs at 2:07 Eastern on the 23rd. Now, keep in mind, the moon is void up until only not even an hour before that. So if you're going to ritualize this new moon, be sure to do it after that time period. Now, it's at 0 degrees, 23 minutes of Virgo, the very, very beginning of Virgo. And uniquely, we have another new moon in Virgo the next month. Our September new moon is also in Virgo, this time at 29 degrees. So I can't remember. I know two full moons in a month is a blue moon, right? Once in a blue moon. I'm not sure what two new moons in the same sign is, but it's definitely unique. And in some ways, I kind of see it, it's almost like a new moon and a full moon, because you're starting off with the energy of the very beginning, and then you're going to have a new beginning at the very end. And so it's like bookends in some ways, whatever is initiating this month. And I think there'll be some sense of culmination, completion, and then some new chapter forming as we get to the end of September. So this is very unique. And then add the pressure of Uranus. Well, you can't predict Uranian events. Uranus is here to surprise us, to shake us awake in some way, to electrify us. So all the standard Uranian protocols are in play for the end of the week and into early next, which include shocking weather events, shocking world events, difficulties with communication. Remember Gemini, shocking technological advances or technological problems. Remember in the sign of the twins, it can be difficult or positive, and it could be that you might see it both ways, right? So very, very unique new moon. And then, the sun will continue after that new moon to square to Uranus. So it's not just the new moon, but the sun for this next couple days, and that will usher us into the next week. So the sun square Uranus, definitely Leos, be a little bit more careful with the electrical things. If you are an early Gemini or early Virgo, be a little careful with electrical things. And everyone, just be a little bit more careful, cautious, and adaptable with this Uranian energy. Now stick around. The Celtic Cross was on the new moon. It has some definite ideas about how to handle this energy. And there was, again, this week, crossover from the Celtic Cross to the Isis Lotus Tarot spread. That was posted yesterday. So please do check that out on my channel. It does show two different ways to work with the energy of the week. All right, my friends, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If you did, please comment, please share, please like, and stick around for the Celtic Cross. Hello, my friends. So yes, let's take a look. This is for the week of August the 18th. We're doing the Celtic Cross on this new moon, which is kind of an intriguing new moon. It's at 0 degrees of Virgo, and next month the new moon will be at 29. So it's almost like two new moons. It's like a blue moon kind of thing, except for new moons, not full moons. I forget what they're called. But to have two in a row in the same sign is unusual. To have it at 0 and 29, also unusual. And this 0 degree one, square to Uranus. So expecting the unexpected here. So what do we as a collective need to know about this new moon in Virgo for the month of August? All right, first of all, us in this situation, you, me, anyone who is watching this in the way the magical world works. It's 7 of Pentacles time. So this is we needing to look at the long term, look at the long-term goals, look at the long-term plans, and look at what we're doing now that is going to set us up for an abundant future. New moon energy for sure. What is crossing us? Well, it's the devil. Now, the devil can show up as a lot of different things. Sometimes the devil shows up when we're dealing with people who are not purest of intentions, not necessarily above board. Maybe there's some, misinformation, dark, heavy energies around us. Something is influencing us. It could be our fears. It could be, my husband likes to say the devil's in the details. It could be that we're not paying attention to the exact details. Let's continue. We may have to 3-card this one. Now, in the past, 9 of Wands, we've been pretty successful. We've been moving forward. And, we know when to do that final push. Future, Nine of Pentacles. So there's something here about you really feeling empowered to make decisions here. Empowered financially, empowered with knowledge, empowered with wisdom, empowered by taking that responsibility and doing something with it instead of feeling burdened by it. Now, crowning thoughts, I'm getting two cards. One, Eight of Swords, we're worried. This is stress. And Temperance. We also know we can't go too hard here. We gotta be a little careful, cautious here. This is a tricky new moon. Subconsciously, the Tower. Yeah, we can feel it. Whatever it is that's coming, we can feel this dramatic change. Advice. Four of Wands. Focus on family. Focus on gathering the right people around you, whether it's community, whether it's your own tight-knit little family unit, but there's something here about finding the right people to gather around. Outside influence, the High Priestess. We must have faith through these times. We must understand that there are larger things at play. So make sure you're praying, you're meditating, you're staying attuned. The goddess is here to help us. What do we want to happen? Page of Swords. I don't know. We're busy whining, complaining, and worrying. We're not really, having our head on straight. So this is definitely the shadow of air energy. So we've got to really watch the mind. Outside influence. Nine of Swords. Or not outside influence. This is the outcome. Outcome. Still more worry. So clearly there's an opportunity to escalate these worries or concerns. Or there's, again, two cards here. What's the other one? Two of Cups. Oh, isn't that interesting? So, side note, there are some astrologers that keep talking about how things might really bifurcate in some ways. In that some people will be experiencing a lot of these changes as terrible and awful and having very bad experiences, and other people will have different experiences. This is almost like the twins of Gemini, right? And so some people are going on a higher spiritual quest, and other people are caught up in the lower vibrational things. This is not a judgment. It's just the way we're at, or where we're at. Some people are going to understand how to work with higher level energies and higher level beings, which I think are being brought to us. So this is a choice. I think this shows that we have a choice with this new moon. We can either get lost in our worries and magnetize ourselves to darker thoughts, fears, devilish behaviors. I mean, keep in mind, the devil could also be the use of substances to block your intuition, to block all the feeling, to block, just the fear, everything else. Or do we have this Two of Cups experience where we find the perfect situation, perfect person, perfect love, perfect job, perfect life? Interesting. Let's look at the reader's fan. Queen of Pentacles, so definitely pay attention to practical things. Six of Cups, and also people from the past popping up on you. Ace of Swords, you will have to start something new. That's logical. Five of Pentacles, try not to get upset or worried that you don't fit in, that you don't have the right people around you, that you're going to run out of money or resources. You've got to trust the universe and step into this Nine of Pentacles role of being truly abundant. So, yeah, this looks like a lot of tricky emotions. Remember, even a new moon in Virgo, remember the Virgo energy can be very much about how it should be, right? And a lot of people are basing that kind of idea on the past, on the way things have been. We're not going backwards. All three outer planets next year commit to these new signs. There is no backwards. There's only forwards. So hopefully this will help you to set your intentions for this new moon in Virgo. I hope this was helpful. If it was, comment below, give it a like, share it with a friend. Namaste, and I'll see you next week. Bye.